Hello, lovely people, and happy Halloween. Were you a witch in a past life? Could you be considered to be a witch now? It wasn't witches that were burnt. It was women. Women who had too much power, who knew too much about the gut intuition, the veil between the other world, the power of herbs, had a birthmark, too much water in their well. There were endless reasons why women were killed. So I want to go back 400 years to those witch trials and bring a lovely young lady on tonight who I follow on Instagram. And I just love her work because she is a modern day witch. And so I want to introduce you to Lilly Statham.
Hey, you're right.
How are you? Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Modern Day Witch.
I'm glad to be here.
I've got my broomstick behind me. I don't know.
I don't actually have one, so
I do.
Yeah.
So I can't fly though.
So
what is a witch? This is the first question I'm going to ask you. And I talked then about, 400 years ago and the Salem witches and what happened to these women, which was completely tragic. And, it was for any old reason that you could be called a witch. And they used to do these trials. I don't know if you know about it, but they had dunking stools.
Yeah.
And they would put the women on the stools and dip them underwater. And if they lived, they were a witch and they burnt them at the stake or hung them. And if they died, they died. So were you a witch in a past life?
I mean, I'm sure I would, but I guess I was one of the lucky ones that didn't get caught, maybe. I don't know. But
I think I was hung, actually.
maybe. Yeah. Or thingied in the, what's it called? Water, but I guess you can't, you're not going to win either way, are you, if you end up sitting in getting drowned?
What was really extraordinary about this period of time is how many women they killed. And I think I read somewhere once that the Salem witches, the only reason they stopped the Salem witch trials was because they were running out of women to kill. And they kind of thought, holy crap, we're not going to have mankind anymore. There's not going to be a village left if we keep killing them. So they had to stop, which is quite extraordinary, really. But I think it's predominantly women, but I'm going to apologize to all you guys out there that have this incredible gut intuition. But for me, a witch is a combination of really quantum physics. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I feel like just like witchcraft in general, it's kind of like a matter of using nature's energies and stuff to kind of energy can't be created or destroyed, so you can just utilizing it to help you in one way or another, whether it's manifesting your dream job or I don't know what else, but it's kind of using what Mother Nature's given you to help get what you want in a non-selfish way. But
yeah, absolutely. The power of Mother Nature is quite extraordinary. And again, witches knew those powers. You talk there about manifestation. I say this on almost every podcast. I'm a fucking shit hot manifester, me. I've always known that power. I don't know where I got it from, but I just always knew that if I visualize something, I could bring it into my life. And that's why I was kind of talking about the quantum physics, because, you mentioned their energy and we are nothing, we're energy. A few odd cells and a bit of other fungi and stuff mixed in with it, bacteria, but predominantly energy. So I don't know if you know the works of the brilliant Dr. Emoto, and he used to meditate on water or put essential oils next to water, prayer with water, play music with water, do all of this stuff, and then put the water, freeze it in the little fairy dishes, and then bring it out under microscopes, and it would have completely different patterns. And if it was something lovely, he was saying, it would be a really beautiful, beautiful kind of like a snowflake. And if he was saying something horrible, like I hate you, it would just be this really ugly
Oh my God,
jarry
crazy.
shape. And so energy does transfer between absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And to me, that is witchcraft, knowing how to use your energy to heal.
Yeah.
So tell us some of your hot tips for Halloween on
Oh
what
gosh.
you will be doing today.
Tips. So Halloween. I don't even know where to begin. I guess like if you're like into the whole witchcraft sort of thing, Samhain, which I think that's how you pronounce it. Everyone pronounces it slightly different.
Yeah.
So no one come at me if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
No, I never know how to pronounce it either.
So it's kind of time of year where the veil between the spirit world and the living world is at its thinnest. So you can get like negative spirits or happy spirits, positive spirits coming into our world. So if like you've lost a family member in the recent years, or you want to get in contact with your ancestors or something, you can do some sort of like magical spell or divination. Maybe not a Ouija board, because personally I've never used one, so I don't want to go there.
I have actually, and it was bloody terrifying.
Oh, don't, because I was thinking of doing one this on the 31st, because the only people that have lived in my house is my granddad. So I don't know if I can.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. I was bloody petrified doing it, and I will never do another one. I was at school when I did it, and many moons ago, yeah, it was one of the most frightening things I have ever done in my life. But you're right, it is when the veil is between the two worlds, and when you can actually connect with your ancestors. And you know, I talk in one of my meditations on my album about how many ancestors we have and how much trauma we take from their lives. You know, we have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great grandparents, 16 great grandparents. It goes on and on and on. And we take their energy. So I don't know if you can hear from my listeners, but my 2 little dogs are playing in the background and they're being very noisy. Sorry about that, but they won't leave me. And you know, dog is God spelt backwards for a very good reason, because they're little mini gods. So I'm going to come back to this veil between the worlds. And it is a fantastic time to actually meditate. So do you meditate?
I definitely meditate. I feel like, especially like at the end of like a day, I mainly meditate in the evenings, I want to say, because I feel like that's when, I don't know, I have more time to myself, and it kind of just gets rid of all like any anxieties or stress that I had throughout the day. So meditation is definitely something I like preach. I'm like, everyone should do it.
Yeah, everyone should meditate. I only started about 5 years ago, and it's completely transformed my life. But I meditate in the morning, the minute I wake up. Well, when I'm kind of half asleep, and I have this it's kind of a cross. The first half an hour is a cross between meditation and thinking. Thinkation or something. I don't know what you call that, but that's when I do it, because that is when the veil is at the thinnest every morning, because I believe that we go out to the universe in our dreams. And so for me, that's the time that I connect and go back in. And that's actually the time I talk to the people that I've lost in my life. If I want to have a conversation, and very often they'll kind of then come up in my dreams again, and I can actually have the conversation with them that I want to have in person. And I love doing that.
I love that. That's amazing. I tend to like say, when I do meditate, it's more like in the shower. So I'd like put on some like meditative music, and then what I figured out the other day is, you know, the little loofahs that you get? If you have that in your shower and then put like essential oils on it, oh my gosh, it makes the whole shower smell amazing. So I have like a little loofah hanging in my shower, and then I can just like sit into the water. I don't know, I think it's called like waterfall meditation maybe, or something like that, I'm not too sure. But I just sit there and let all like my anxieties and stuff go down the drain.
I love that.
And kind of like maybe put some like incense and stuff in, or say if you wanted, like when you were meditating, you wanted to do some like manifestation with, I don't know, say if you've got an interview the next day or something, you could put like basil or cinnamon essential oils for good luck, and then meditate and do it that way. And like if you had like any doubts about the job or interview or anything, they kind of go down the drain. So
I love that. I love that. I have never done a meditation in the shower.
You should do, but then
again,
oh,
I'm so going to start.
Water bills and everything at this time, I don't know, it probably cost me a fortune doing it, sat in the shower for hours. But...
well, you still have to shower, so
yeah, exactly.
I actually have an outside rainwater shower.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So I'm going to do it in that. That is a cracking one. I meditate in the bath, and actually I suppose what you could do is meditate in the bath and pull the plug out, and then just sit there and watch all the negative energy go down the drain. So that would work as well for those people out there that bath. And I always have essential oils in my bath. And, you know, all these oils have been known about for thousands of years. You know, baby Jesus was given gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And in biblical times, turmeric was actually called gold.
Oh, okay.
And we know the power of frankincense and myrrh. And so basically he was given a medicine chest, which is beautiful. So yeah, no, I'm a massive believer in using essential oils to cleanse and for their healing properties, which again, I suppose is witchcraft.
Yeah, to some degree, definitely.
Now, I've seen on your feed a lovely hack that you do with cinnamon.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So please tell us about that.
Okay, so cinnamon represents like abundance, wealth, prosperity, and all those good things. So like at the start of the month, you'd get like a pinch of cinnamon and you'd put it into like the palm of your hand, and then you'd blow it into your house. Make sure you blow it into the house and not out.
No.
And then
the money coming into the house.
Yeah, not going out the door. And then it kind of like, as you blow it, you need to like visualize that you've got money coming into your home and everything. It's all about like visualizing at the same time. Like you can't just blow it and then not, and just think, I don't know, that money's going to come straight into it or anything. But if you blow the money into your home, and then, or if you didn't want to blow it in, you could just get like a cinnamon stick and then put it under your doormat. So like say if you do have like pets or anything, I think cinnamon can be quite toxic if you're not careful. So if you put like a cinnamon stick like under your doormat instead, that will like help as you like walk through the door. It'll help bring like wealth and abundance in with you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just thought at Christmas, when everybody does their wreaths for their Christmas doors, if you do your, wreaths, if you put them up at Christmas, most of them have cinnamon tied in. And so you open your front door, and as you push it in, I presume that must have been an ancient tradition to bring money into your house. And I'd never...
I've never put the two and two together, to be honest.
No, I only just have, but it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
So I feel like if like any sort of thing with like that, so every time you open the door, if you think in your head that as I'm walking through the door, this is going to bring wealth and abundance in, it's kind of putting that connection together. I think like intention and thinking about what you want to manifest as like you're opening the door is like the key to making it a success, instead of just like not thinking about it. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because we're made up, we've talked about being made up of energy, and we use 5% of our brain, and 95 is the subconscious brain. And if you can I find a really good hack for this is I don't just think about it. I feel
Yeah.
the excitement in my body
Yeah.
as if it was happening.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good idea.
and I do that I do a morning gratitude meditation with Soma
Okay.
breath every morning. And you
Yeah.
just feel that gratitude. And, you know, what Soma actually tell you to do is go back to the happiest moment in your life and just feel that gratitude in your body, live that moment over and over and over again. And then when you start visualizing all the things that you deserve to have come into your
Yeah.
life, your body's already going, oh God, it's there. Blimey, yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen. And so I think that's a really good hack to
Definitely.
help with manifestation.
So like when it comes to like manifesting things and stuff, I feel like you need to like wholeheartedly believe that as you're doing it, this is what you're getting. So like, or say when you manifest things that you think like you act like you already have it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely.
So I feel like the more you believe, the more you're going to get everything you want. If you
Yep.
don't think you're going to get it, then you're not going to get it. So
Yep, absolutely. And I also think another tip is because somebody once said to me, so if I just tell the universe I need something or I want something, I'll get it. And I said, no, because if you say you
yeah.
need it or you want it, you're telling the universe you don't have it. And because the universe always has your back, it goes, oh, you don't have it, so I won't give it to you.
Yeah.
But if you just absolutely go, oh, thank you, God, so much, or universe, or whatever you call it, for giving me this, then the universe will find a way to bring it to you. And I suppose, in a way, this is witchcraft, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's witchcraft is like, I don't know. I think witchcraft can be exactly however you want it to be. So like it, in my eyes, witchcraft it is very much like utilizing energy and Mother Nature and stuff to help me manifest what I want, but like also in a non-selfish way. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's, I always say that it doesn't work if you use it for harm or
Yeah.
use it for something bad to happen, something evil. Now, I nearly called this podcast The Witch Doctor, actually, because I'm
Okay.
all about natural health.
Yeah.
But the association with witch doctors in Africa, but I kind of thought maybe I better not because of voodoo. But it must work, because if you can do good and heal people through intention, then there is a downside. But I implore everybody not to use that, because it's, we're trying to live in a world that is a happier and healthier place. And by using witchcraft to the good of witchcraft, then you can change the world. You know, we have these extraordinary powers that we're not told about. And the more I've discovered my powers, the more it's blown my mind. Have you found the same?
Definitely. I feel like I don't even know. Like when I first got into the whole witchcraft side of things, I can remember going with a friend to like a little metaphysical shop, and I didn't really know what anything was. And I bought myself a pendulum, which is like a form of divination, and it swings one way for yes and one way for no. And I kind of, at that point, I kind of just used it as like asking stupid questions like, oh, will I date this person? I think I was like 16 and I had like high school crush or whatever, and it'd swing yes. And then it wasn't until like maybe like 5 years later that I actually did date that person, but like I decided they weren't for me. So I don't know, I feel like the more I've like delved into it and got more connected with it, the more I've got out of it. And I don't know, I feel like it's completely changed my life. And I don't know, with it being on Instagram as well, it is my life in a way. So I think the
Yeah,
more
no,
you do,
absolutely.
the more you practice, the more you ask and everything, the more you get from it. So
You do, absolutely.
yeah,
You can use your body as a pendulum as well. So I use my body, and you put your bare feet on the ground and you stand
yeah,
very, very tall and straight. I then tap, because I'm a mad tapper. I tap for a few moments and just ground myself, and then ask the universe in a positive, affirmative something that's going to happen. So yeah, I've done it. Will I date, but I don't say will I date this person, I go I will date,
yeah,
or I will go on a date, or I will go to bed with, whatever. And the
yeah,
universe and the universe tells me, my body. And to start it off, you always have to kind of test it and test your energies
yeah,
right. And so I always start by saying, my name is Philly Lay, and I sway forward. And then I say, my name is Whoopi Goldberg. Or if I'm feeling
mm.
feeling very strange, sometimes I go, my name is Donald Trump. And then you sway back, but you use
Yeah,
a name that, that nobody else, or very few people in the world have got that name. Whoopi
yeah,
Goldberg's a great one because it's such a great name. And you go back, and then I start asking the questions. And when I started this podcast and I was doing a session on that, I said my podcast will be a #1 podcast this week. And I went flying forward, and I looked at the Apple podcast
smack face
charts
on
the
the floor.
next day, and I had my first #1 slot in 24
Oh my
hours. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
God.
This, and I had no idea what I was doing with the podcast. So
Yeah,
but I just believed that I could get that slot,
yeah,
and it works. Um,
definitely.
it's
Because
really, really fascinating.
I know with like my Instagram, like I first created it just as like a place where I can take my own like witchy pictures and just post it, because I didn't really want to put it on like my normal feed. And then it wasn't until maybe the start of this year I was like, right, I will have like 100,000 followers. And lo and behold, I've got that, flied past that. And like, it's just, I feel like with everything, you've just got to believe and that you already have it. So if you don't
Yeah.
believe it and you feel like, oh, I want it, but I don't think I can get it, then I feel like the universe won't give it you. But if you wholeheartedly believe, then you can manifest anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'm also a big fan of oracle cards and tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite a deep area. I only got into them about 4 or 5 years ago. I had this amazing experience when my best friend and soulmate had just died, and I'd actually gone for a massage, and I was walking past this shop on my way back to the car, and there was a beautiful little shop with crystals in the window, and there was a little angel, and I just thought, I'm going to go and buy that angel for Polly. So, and I'm just going to put my intention and my love for Polly into the angel, and keep her with me. And when I went in, somebody came in and said, "Oh, can I have a reading?" And they said, "Oh, yes, I'd go out the back." And I said, what you do, what readings here?" I didn't really know much about it then. And they said, "Yes, but we're actually fully booked, but we've got a slot in 3 hours if you want to come back." And normally I go, "Oh God, I'm not waiting 3 hours," and get in the car and go home. But I just felt completely compelled to have this reading, and it blew my mind.
It's like the universe wanted you to go into that shop, buy the angel, and then get a reading so that you can hear what they had to say, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. And I wrote down a list of everything she said. She said I'd be working with plants and the soil. And then one of the cards was that I was going to write a book. I went, of course, I'm not going to write a book. I'm highly dyslexic, ADHD, I can't use a fucking computer, and I'm not writing a book. And then when I went to my first EFT course, which was about 4 months later, and I was sitting on the sofa the first day with a group of highly in tune women. And one of them looked at me and said, "So when are you writing your book?" And I went, "I'm not writing a book." And they went, "Yes, you are." And then about 2 days later, I was in the kitchen making a cup of tea, and another woman on the course came up to me and said, "So when are you writing your book?" And I'm just like, I'm not
Things
writing
happen
a
in
book.
threes. Yeah.
And I had thought that absolutely everything on that list was spot on for how I wanted to spend the rest of my life, apart from the book. And then 2020 came, and the shit show of 2020, and I'm kind of going, I'm a witch. If only I could let people know the incredible powers that they have. Our body has this innate desire to heal itself. And if I could only get that across to other people, then they won't live in fear. And so I wrote my book, and I wrote it in 2.5 months. And I was just like,
universe telling you.
yeah, the universe was absolutely telling me. It's very, very bizarre, isn't it? It still shocks me. And what shocked me even more was I wanted to publish it before Christmas, but I only started writing it in October. And I was on the Hay House writing course, and Reed Tracy, the CEO, I put my hand up in the chat box. And obviously I had imagined myself talking to him, 1,000 people or whatever on the course, and only like 10 questions a day. But, I knew I was going to talk to him, and I did. And I said, I'm writing my book. I'm going to publish it before Christmas. And he just laughed and said, good luck with that, because I didn't know how long it normally took. And I signed it off on December the 21st, 2020. And I said to Balboa Press, can you publish before Christmas? And they said, well, it's normally 2 weeks, but we'll mark it urgent. So I said to them, can you get it up on Amazon as a pre-order? And they laughed and said no. And I've told this story before, so sorry to anybody else, anyone that's listening, but this still gobsmacks me, the power of the brain. So they laughed at Amazon and they said no, because it's a different format, and they would never, ever put a first-time self-published author up as a pre-order. They just would never, ever do it. And I spent the day on my bed, because I was absolutely fucking knackered, I had been writing round the clock for 2.5 months. And I lay on the bed and I was tapping, I was doing soma breath work. I did didgeridoo, which I'd never done before, and is so incredibly powerful, the vibration of the music. And all I did was visualize and feel the excitement in my body of seeing my book on Amazon in 2020.
And there it was.
And on Boxing Day, I had a look on Amazon, and I was up as a pre-order. And I was up, my published date is December the 21st, the day I actually signed it off with Balboa Press, who were publishing.
Oh, that's incredible. I love that. I love that.
And you just go, how can this happen? Oh, because I've got witch powers. We all have.
Yes, everyone needs to you have these people that don't believe in it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you're missing out. You're missing out on so much. You're literally missing out on manifesting the dreams that you want. So stop being boring and just believe it.
Yeah, this is it. Because the minute you go with it and you go with the flow, and it is because your energy is flowing and you go with the flow, the universe is so happy for you.
It's literally from walking in that shop and getting that reading, you just felt compelled that you had to go in there for some reason, and then next minute all this has happened. It's crazy.
So explain to us the difference then between oracle and tarot cards.
Okay, so I haven't actually worked an awful lot with oracle cards. I've just started using them, so I wouldn't say I'm an expert or anything by any means. So with tarot cards, you have a major suit and a major arcana, I think it's called, and minor arcana, but each card represents a specific thing, and it'd be the same pretty much for all tarot card decks. Whereas with oracle cards, if I'm right, they all have themes and stuff. So you can get a divination oracle card deck. At the minute I've got a Norse pagan one, so that each card relates to a specific god from Norse paganism, or you could get one that is based on self-love, or they all have a theme, and there's no limitations to them. I can't remember what I read somewhere on how that explained it really well. My mind's gone blank. But like tarot cards are very much like, they all have set meanings, whereas oracle cards can represent anything and everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, that's my understanding of it too. So, which is why I think I prefer the tarot to the oracle. I actually really like kind of go, yeah, okay, so this is what's going to happen. This is what this means. So, right. I'm going to ask you now, because it's Halloween, and for those of you listening today on Halloween, get your witch's hat ready and your cauldron. My cauldron, as I've got older, is mainly my teapot, where I put all my herbs in my teapot, so I know that I've got all my nutrients for the day, which again, I would have been burnt at the stake for. But I would love you to give us some kind of ceremony before people go out. And it's also, I'm just going to say, before you do this, it's also known as the beginning of the flu season, Halloween. And flu is that funny thing that disappeared in 2020 for a couple of years and people seem to have forgotten about, that has come back this year. The reason I think that it's now known as the beginning of the flu season is because all these kids go out and trick and treat and get all this fucking sugar down their neck, which kills their immune system. So they all go to school as snotty as hell and get really, really ill, and then come home and give it to their parents. And it's just the time of year that you've just given your immune system one hell of a bashing.
Trick or treats, literally.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you got an apple, and we didn't have the flu season starting then. It started in January, but I'm pretty sure that's why it's come forward, but it's just a theory. But Lily, before we go, can you give us some fantastic ceremony to do tonight for Halloween?
Okay, so where do I begin? You can print, so I think this time of year, with the veil being at its thinnest and you've got spirits flying around the place and everything, you kind of got to like protect yourself to a certain degree. So what you could do is get a white candle. So like you could use a black candle preferably if you have it, but white candles can represent all colors. So you can get a white candle. It could be a birthday candle, it could be one of like your big dinner candle ones, or it could be a tea light. It's completely up to you. And before you light it, you can carve in the words protection, or I am protected, my family is protected, anything with protection in the words. And as you light it, it will protect you from all of these bad spirits or anything that are lingering around Halloween. But as you light it and as the candle burns, you need to sit there and meditate and concentrate on your intentions, that as the candle burns, it's protecting you, your family, and your home from any negative energies or spirits that might want to come knocking on your door. And just like as like the candle burns, you can picture, I don't know, a white bright light kind of like enveloping your home as kind of like a protective shield from any negative energies. Or you can do it by your front door to stop them from coming in, or you could use it to stop kids from knocking on your door at trick or treat.
Oh, might try that.
Yeah, so that's a really good one. I'd suggest it's simple and easy, and I would say it's quite effective. Or you can burn some sage, one or the other. Both would do wonders.
Now, I know that you have a lot of spells up on your socials, and you do some lovely candle ceremonies that people can see, but you also do burning ceremonies where you write down something and you burn it. And I do this on New Year's Eve, and I do it with my kids or whoever I'm with, and we do it around a fire pit outside, where we actually write anything negative from the year that we want to get out, and then we just fold it up and burn it, get rid of it. This is the same as your great trick of doing the shower and letting it go down the drain. So, burning. So that is another thing. If anybody wanted to do it today, just write something that you want to get rid of in your life. But you can also write and burn positive things that you want to come into your life, can't you?
I think it's like it kind of like stems back to the intention and the visualization that you put into it as you're doing it, like believing in what you're doing. So say if you wanted to get rid of any old unwanted energies, you could burn it, and as it's burning you can kind of see it going up in flames and like, oh, it no longer exists. Or if you're wanting to manifest things in, so you could write on a bay leaf like you want £500, or £500 is coming into your home, or that you have it, and as it burns you can then collect the ashes and kind of like blow it into the wind, so it kind of like sends the message to the universe, and do it that way. I think it's very much like what's the word, it's very much concentrating on what you want to happen.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely concentrating, feeling that it's happened, feeling that this is gone.
Yeah, that this is gone, or this is going to happen. Yeah,
this is here.
You can burn it either way. It's up to you which one. Just make sure your mind is crystal clear on what you want as you're doing it.
Absolutely. Bob Proctor, I don't know if you know the works of the brilliant late Bob Proctor. I've done quite a few of his online courses, and he was a remarkable man who died in 2022. And he had this great trick for money. Well, it's not a trick. He had a great, I'm going to say a great witchy thing. And he used to say, carry in your pocket the amount of cash that you want to earn every day. So if you want to earn £100 a day, put £100 in your pocket. If you want to earn £500 a day, put £500 in your pocket. If you want to earn £1,000 a day, put £1,000 in your pocket. And a lot of people would say, well, I can't walk around with £1,000. I might not have £1,000 in the bank, but I can't walk around. I might get robbed. And his answer to that is, how many times have you been robbed in your life from your pocket? You might have had your bag nicked as a woman, or but people don't normally go in your pocket unless there's a phone sticking out. And he
or
said, but
you could just put it down your bra and they're not going to nick it that way.
And for you guys, you can just pop it down your pants, pop it anywhere you like. But again, it's all this kind of manifestation of bringing all of this amazing stuff into your life and using our witchcraft powers.
With what you could do, if you say you didn't want to carry £1,000 in your pocket, you could write down £1,000 on like a piece of paper, and you would visualize and believe that this piece of paper is £1,000, and you could do it that way instead. So then you have like unlimited, you could write billions of pounds on it, but then as long as this is £1,000 that the paper is, then you could do it that way instead. Might be better than.
Now, this is a bit old fashioned, and I don't know if many people, I doubt if you have one, but I'm still old enough to have one. A checkbook.
I think I had one at one point, but I don't know.
Do you even know what a checkbook is, my lovely?
No, I do. Don't worry. I'm not that.
But Jim Carrey, the actor Jim Carrey, when he tells this wonderful story when he was really hard up, struggling young actor, and he wrote a check for himself for £10 million. And he put a date on it. And he just folded it up and he continued to work with his craft. And then when he made the movie The Mask, when he got cast in The Mask, he said to them, can I be on a percentage of the box office? And they went, no, you can't. That just happens for big stars. And you're not worth anything because nobody knows who you are. And he went, I'm worth something. I know how much I'm worth. Please, can I have a percentage of the box office? And eventually, after some negotiation, he got it. And when his first big check came through from The Mask, it was 10 million quid. And I think, if I remember the story correctly, the date matched up with the check he'd written years earlier when he was like this really young, struggling actor. So it does work with a piece of paper. But if you're older like me and you've got a checkbook, write yourself a check.
I'll go ask my mum and dad for their checkbook.
Yeah, go and take your parents' check. Oh no, I'm not sure about asking your parents for a check, because it might mean you're getting their money, which means yeah, no, not going down
Maybe
that route. Write to your bank and ask for a checkbook.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's been great fun today. Thank you so much for coming on The Wellness Way. I just love witches. And so all those, before we go, we have to know where people can find you.
Oh gosh, yeah. That'd be helpful. So my handles for everything is Mystic Primrose. And so that's my YouTube, my TikTok. Hopefully I don't get banned on that one. Instagram, and then it's mysticprimrose.com for all like my witchy spell jars and everything you can purchase through there. But that's pretty much everything.
You do some beautiful things on your web page for sale as well. I've looked at your spell jars and your rice. Actually, before we go, tell us about your green rice.
So green rice represents like prosperity and abundance, wealth and everything. So I created from some inspiration, but created my own recipe. It's got cinnamon, chamomile. What else has it got in? Sugar, essential oils. I won't tell all the ingredients.
No.
Keep some secret. And with that, you can put it in your purse. You can put a couple of grains in your purse, or if you're doing any spells or rituals relating to money, you can use the money rice in that as well. And it just draws in wealth, abundance, prosperity, all those good things that we all want.
Yeah.
And you can use it in different
Not that we want, that we deserve.
That we already have.
Yeah, we were born to be abundant. We were born to be abundant.
So, or instead of using cinnamon, you can sprinkle that on your door or put it under your welcome mat. And you can use it in so many different ways. I have a list of different things on how you can use it on my website. And it also smells incredible. So if you just want to use it for potpourri, go for it. But yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, that's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it, Lily. Thank you so much for coming on today. And lovely people, go and have fun tonight. Don't eat too much chocolate. Go and find a pumpkin. Oh, I'm going to tell you a pumpkin hack, actually. So if you put a pumpkin on your doorstep and you take the seeds out and you have a dog, if you feed them to your dog, they deworm the dogs. So absolutely fantastic for deworming dogs. Yeah, go and carve your pumpkin. Right. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a fantastic rest of the day, wherever you are in the world, and keep safe. Thank you. Goodbye.